good to see you. And Ruth, I would not have recognized you if your name wasn't on there. That's a great costume. And it's good to see the other people. Thank you for joining us. Last month, I got to go to the NANEMO conference, British Columbia, and it was a fabulous conference. And I had a layover in Calgary. So that got me all pumped up to go to the conference. So my travel tip number one to you, remember to take money because first of all, the US dollar is very good against the Canadian dollar. And you'll want to buy a lot of things. But I did have trouble exchanging money in NANEMO. So I'd recommend doing the money there in Calgary because you'll want to buy a lot of things. It's really a wonderful city. So with that said, getting you all pumped up about Calgary. I hope everyone's planning on going to Calgary next year. See some hands. Oh, wonderful. Yay. It is going to be a great conference. And I would like to go over some tips with you. The big news, this is the highlight for the call. The conference packet will come out probably mid to late November. So be on the lookout for the conference packet. And of course, the registration will be online. Now, the price has gone up. And it's going to be $6.75 for the early bird. As you know, the prices of everything has gone up, and the cost, especially for the audio-visual equipment, has really increased. So we have decided to go up on the early bird, and it's $6.75 now. Now, with that in mind, for the Region 10 people, I don't know if we have any Region 10 people on the call, but the price for Region 10 will be $3.10. And the reason we decided to do a discount there is because the Canadian dollar, the US dollar, the fluctuation and the price difference, the exchange difference is pretty great. So we decided to offer them $3.10. So we are excited about Region 10 attending. We want lots of people. Now, I made a promise back in Minneapolis. Some of y'all remember that promise. Our goal is 400 first-time attendees in Calgary, and I think it's very doable. So I want to see a good attendance, especially from Region 10. The hotel cost, you'll need to think about making hotel costs. There are two hotels. There's the host hotel, and it's connected, and then the other one is real close by. It's around, I think it's around $210 Canadian dollars. And the US dollars, that means 160 to 170. So then Calgary is a very safe city. We are located downtown. So the eating places, the restaurants, the shopping is located very close by. Now, of course, the big news is you're going to want a passport. Well, actually, your passports are required. Let me just reword that and tell you, go ahead and work on those passports. Even if you think there's a little chance that you'll attend, I would go ahead and get those passports because I understand it's taking months to get passports. So that is like a top priority. The airport is maybe a 20 to 30 minute drive from downtown from where we're staying. But of course, Banff and Lake Louise are only about an hour and a half away. When you fly into Calgary, it's very flat. And there's this huge city, and then you can see the mountains off in the distance. Like I said, it's about an hour and a half. So I know a lot of people are planning on going a few days early, and maybe the next weekend is Memorial Day weekend. So you may want to say Memorial Day weekend. But I would highly recommend going to Banff and Lake Louise. Last year, I attended the Alberta Clerks Conference in Canmore, which is real close to Banff, and it is beautiful. There are not many mountains in South Mississippi. And looking at these Rockies, it's just amazing. I'm used to more like the Great Smoky Mountains, and they're curved and they're pretty, but these are just spectacular. So I would recommend taking a side trip. Now, we're in for a treat for Monday afternoon. Our guest speaker on Monday afternoon is this man named Sean Booth. He's on YouTube. You can look at him and see his presentation. When I was attending the AMCTO conference in Niagara Falls, Ontario, back in June, he was one of the speakers. He's just amazing. If y'all remember the conference back in Little Rock, and our opening session speaker was this man called Clint Pulver. And he was very high energy. We were all up on our feet, yelling and screaming and singing and dancing. It was just great. It's not that genre, but it's that high energy. It's that same feeling, you're going to want to stand up and just cheer for this man. He's fabulous. He is a rapper, and he takes famous people in history and he puts it to song. I've never heard it quite presented this way. The first one he did was Malala. The second one he did was Dr. King. The third one was Serena Williams. And the fourth one was this man named Terry Fox, who ran across Canada back in the 70s for awareness, for cancer awareness. And it's just, all four are just fabulous stories. And he takes leadership lessons from each one of them and teaches us from their stories. And I'm not sure who he's going to pick this time. He's got about 15 or 16 characters he can draw from. And I really think we are going to enjoy him. He's from Toronto, so he's a Canadian, and we are in for a treat. Another treat, I've noticed that when I go to these Canadian conferences, that they always start the meeting acknowledging the First Nations. And so when we start the conference on Monday morning, we're not going to do the parade of flags. We'll have the Canadian anthem and the Canadian flags, but we'll have someone to acknowledge the First Nations. We are really going to be exposed to a lot of Canadian culture and Alberta culture. And I think this is going to be a wonderful learning experience for all of us. The other thing is that this conference is going to be worth 12 points. As you know, the last ones have been worth 10 education points. And this one, because we're not really doing an off-site event, if you go to a museum or someplace cultural like that and then write a paragraph, you can get 2 points for that. And I think that will be a wonderful learning experience and a great way to get 2 extra education points. So I want to encourage everyone to do that. Of course, the all-conference event. I've told you about the education and the guest speaker to tempt you. And now for the all-conference event. The all-conference event was be a Western theme. So be sure to bring your cowboy hat and boots, and it'll be a great time. I've even heard there might be a karaoke fundraiser for the IIMC Foundation. And Karen was telling me earlier that she's put out she's got the letters. I know a lot of you need letters justifying to your counselor your costs and your expenses. And Karen is very gracious to kind of draft us up letters like that and forms. So those will be available also. That was a great intro. I'm excited about Calgary. It's going to be a great experience. I'm so glad to see so many hands go up for this conference. Now, I believe, Shan, do you have your hand up for a question? Okay. Do we have any questions right now about the conference? About this first segment on the conference? And I see Karen just posted a link in there with the forms. So I know a lot of you use those forms, so feel free to look at those and get those all ready for your counselors. Okay, the next topic was the 2023 Study Abroad program. I understand there was about 50 people who went and they had a fabulous time. They had great pictures. It was a great experience. I've asked them to do little paragraphs. So those will be in the next news digest talking about what all they learned, what all they experienced. So to tempt you, the 2025 study abroad is in the making. We don't know yet any details, of course, but I know it's going to be just as wonderful as the 2023 one. The shape of IMC is very good. We back in September, the budget committee met. We developed the budget for next year, and I'm pleased to report that the IMC is very financially sound. We have over $1 million in CDs for savings, and we are in very good shape financially. This is a huge report, and because you all know our history, and to get to this point is wonderful, and I'm pleased to report that we're still in good shape. Now, talking about finances, I would be terribly remiss if I did not mention the scholarship opportunities. The scholarships are going to be available for this Calgary conference. And then, of course, scholarships are always available. I think there's a new time now to apply for next year and for your online and different kinds of scholarships that the IMC Foundation hands out. So please, please, please apply. There are sometimes, it's hard to imagine, scholarships that go unused. So please apply and get those in. Another thing that is another deadline, in January, Dawn and Lisa will be doing their committees. So if you want to serve on a committee for next year, this is very important. This is where all the work gets done. We value the committees, and you all know how important the committee work, what that does for our IMC. So please fill out, download that committee application. Go ahead and start thinking about which committee you want to serve on next year. I see this link popping up. Go ahead and download that because we would love to have you on a committee. I know Lisa and Dawn are working already on those, and they'll be making those assignments in January. Next week, the board of directors is going to meet in beautiful Orlando, Florida. And we are excited. This is going to be our mid-year board meeting. We will be talking budget, of course, but we're going to be talking about strategic planning. The strategic plan has not been updated in a couple of years. So every so often we like to go through it and make sure that it has everything current and up to date. And so we are very excited about this. And we're also going to be talking about a report from the Elections Committee. The Elections Committee has been looking at maybe doing some streamlining of the process, making it shorter, making that time period people can campaign shorter. So trying to make it more fair and equitable for everyone. So we are excited about this report. We're going to be discussing it at length, I'm sure. So we have a very exciting mid-year. I saw the agenda pop up. Please look at it. We are excited about next week. Another thing I want to plug are the Athenian dialogues. Now, I'm sure you get those emails all the time talking about the Athenian dialogues. And I just tell you, when we started Athenian dialogues online, I was very skeptical. But after I've attended them, I realized they just really are beneficial. You get such a great diverse group in your chat, in your chat rooms and your breakout rooms. And I just love the virtual Athenian dialogues. Now, the in-person are wonderful too. Don't get me wrong, but it really does lend itself well to virtual. So if you see an Athenian dialogue and you go, oh, that sounds like an interesting book. Oh, wait a minute, it's virtual. I want to encourage you to join and participate in those. I'm going to assume people know what Athenian dialogues are, but maybe I shouldn't assume. You read the book, you go and discuss them virtually or in person, and then you write a report at the end about how what you learned from the book applies to your office. And it's a great opportunity to meet clerks from all over. So I would just highly recommend them. Of course, after 10 Athenian dialogues, you can apply to become a fellow and then perhaps take the next step to become a facilitator. So I would just highly recommend them. The professional development course schedule is out. I believe there's one more class for this year. And then they're also working on the schedule for next year. There's going to be 16 online classes for next year. That's January through December of 2024. I saw some pop up this morning, some announcements. January the 18th, there's one on cybersecurity. February the 8th, there's one on changing health behaviors. So please check those out. Those are wonderful opportunities to gain some points. And talking about points on CMCs and MMCs, I know some of you may be getting close to applying for those, and there is a new portal. It used to be that everybody sent all the information into one email, but now the people on staff can look at all the information. So when you get close and you want to apply for your CMC and MMC, that's how you do it. It's by the portal. And one of the big advantages is that it's taken less than 3 weeks now to get those approved, which is wonderful. We were excited about that. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's the number of CMCs and MMCs that's tripled since we've gone to this new system. So we are very excited about those, and it has really cut out the time. Okay, and I have 2 more announcements. This one I think was on the e-briefing. The U.S. Department of Justice webinar, Election Threats Task Force, is Wednesday, November 15th, and it is free. We always like those free classes. This talks about reports of threats of violence against election workers and to ensure that all individuals involved in the election administration are able to do their jobs free from unlawful intimidation. So this sounds like an excellent and very timely webinar. It is Wednesday, November 15th, 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. So if that topic interests you, that one's out there. We also talked about the new way to do CMCs and MMCs. And then the IIMC Foundation is honoring your mentor during National Mentoring Month. And this is January. So if you have a mentor you wish to honor, which I'm sure a lot of you do, this will be, visit the foundation's website at iimcfoundation.com, click on Donate Now, select the memorial tributes, and then select Honor a Mentor. So I think that's a wonderful opportunity to show gratitude on people who have greatly influenced our lives. I'm not sure if Kathy Montejo is on this call, but if she is, I want to publicly tell her that her city, she's the city clerk of Lewiston, Maine, that she is in our thoughts and prayers. And she sent out an email saying that next Tuesday they have an election. I cannot imagine elections on a good day, let alone having a city that has just been through this emotionally. And so we are thinking and praying for her and wishing her city the very best through this very difficult time. Okay, with that said, I see some hands. Are there any questions in the chat box, Karen?
Madam President, there are currently none that I see.
Okay. Well, I welcome any questions. I kind of went over things pretty quickly, but if you have questions or you'd like more detail about things, I'll be happy to explain. And I've been remiss. I see Lisa Garcia in her wig. Welcome, Lisa. She is our president-elect. And I see some board members. Colleen Mulvey, and Ruth Post. And I see past Region Director Camilla Pittman. Okay, are there any other people, any other directors? Well, I appreciate everyone jumping on. Thank you very much. And do y'all have any questions? Or I really appreciate everyone who took time out to join us on our pumpkin latte in the afternoon session. Okay. With that said, I look forward to seeing everyone in Calgary, if not sooner. And I hope everyone has a very happy Halloween.